Deshpande and personally for inviting me. It's a privilege to be here amongst all these topics. The topic is interesting. It says personalized nutrition strategies, fact or hype. I practice personalized nutrition. I'm a nutrigenomic counselor from past 3 years. I'm learning molecular biology and biochemistry because I have learned it for academics. I forgot because I wrote my exams. Today when I reminded this new concept of personalized nutrition, it is interesting that we have now emerging tools of molecular biology which is helping us to work towards this personalized healthcare or dietetics. We can also call this genetic dietetics. But the question is in this audience, is this a fact or hype? We've been hearing talk of this nutrigenomics because it's preventive, it's not predictive. It is not rooted to the clinicians, it is more to the consumers or customers which directly can take this test. Where in India do we stand in this test? Is it authentic? What is nutritionist role in this? So many questions. I am actually practicing 3 years of nutrigenomics and I think I can make you understand in a practical aspect as a practicing nutrigenomic expert that what actually we can look for and how the science has emerged. Because now, yes, we are in personalized medicine. It's an emerging practice because it uses genotype to prevent diseases, to work towards wellness, because then we look at personalized. We are calling it as designer nutritionism. So you name it and you have a new name for it, and it was beautiful. But as we evolving to the era of dietetics, you know that we had global recommendations which work for a particular population. Then we had subpopulation healthy diet recommendation which went from pyramid to plate, and then we started looking at PCOS balance and some micronutrient support. What next? Are we looking at something different? What is the difference between this healthy diet concept and personalized nutrition? Because I am involving phenotype or genotype in this concept of personalized nutrition. So as a nutritionist, as a health expert, as a lifestyle counselor, I have a lot of tools to work towards it, a holistic way of looking at it. I have my lifestyle screening in place, A, B, C, D, my anthropometric, my biochemical, my clinical, my dietary record. I also have phenotype that tries if the patient is showing the symptomatic way. And now I have these genes to help me to work on that what kind of recommendations I can tailor-make it. So I look at genetic way of transcription. Where do I get this information from? I'm not a geneticist or molecular biologist, but I have learned this already in my academics. And with the help of a team of molecular biology, sports medicine, pharmacogenetics, and geneticists, we try to understand the application because the end point of counseling is a nutritionist or a dietitian. At genome level, we have DNA. We started in 2003 study of human genome, which you all know, which unbounded almost 3 million genome SNPs for us, single nucleotide proteins for us. And then in the era, can we look at the SNPs and see at what level we can look at lifestyle or preventive or wellness? I'm talking at both sides of the coin. We try to now deliberate it after the session, how important do we look at it as an important tool to work on this. So the DNA level, I'm looking at genomics. When the protein is synthesized in my DNA in a transcription pathway, I have a neuroscience on this transcriptome. Then the transcription is nothing but the protein messages. This protein messages is giving me proteome, and all this protein which is in synthesis is working on my metabolites, which is sugar, nucleotides, amino acids. This is a new branch of science which is coming in as metabolome. All this together will help me to work on phenomics. So now we are coming to an era of omics technology. Omics is nothing but complete sequencing of human genome, and in every area we use this omics, we have genomics, proteomics, metabolomics, phenomics, inomics, and transcriptomics. We only are now concentrating on genomics. Because at genomics level, at the DNA level, the studies which tell us, which have been identified SNPs, and which tell us that these SNPs can be used as an information to work towards lifestyle. So what am I doing? Can I change my genes? No. Actually, with this nutrigenomic as a tool, we are working on epigenetics. We are looking at if nature meets nurture. I know what I have. Then what do I change? I change my environment. The environment is very bad. And then I know that what lifestyle, what eating habits, what exercise, what time of carbohydrate, protein, fat is going to suit me the best. And this is where I use my genomic knowledge. Because there's not one factor, I'm sure this audience understands, that only symptomatic way will not make you feel that this is a diagnosis. In a simple thing like migraine, you do not know what is the etiology of that, what is the cause. As a nutrigenomic expert, I've started looking at diabetes, migraine, into a very cellular way of application, where an alternative medicine concept like Ayurvedic homeopathy comes into practice. The body constitution, because I know genetics, I know their positive or strength and weakness of their body. And this is epigenetics. And we know that when we have epigenetics, we can turn off and on. So if there are bad genes, I can turn them off. So this is where the whole environmental aspect of eating habits, exercise, my gut flora, the aging, the stress, all this can help me to work on epigenetics. But how this is all started? It started after this human genome study when they identified the SNPs. In 2005, there are 3 different papers and lots to work on, but I just wanted to quote 3 different papers where the Block paper says designing a broad spectrum integrative approach for cancer prevention and treatment, where he thought that, or he studied, in a treatment of cancer which has high heterogeneity in tumor, one size fits for all does not work. We have to understand the microenvironment to make it work. The second way of looking at it is from Human Nutrition, Environment, Health Gene paper, where the conclusion quote was, personalized nutrition works in maintaining and optimizing health, but in a preventive or wellness approach, not in a predictive approach. We don't want to create anxiety amongst patients to say, you will get cancer, you will get neurological disease. We want to look at the cellular way of understanding and give the nutrition guidelines which are typically derived from authentic epidemiology or associative studies. Because individualistic, it may or may not work, the epidemiology studies, so this genotype can help us do that. And the last way of looking at this personalized nutrition, the predictive glycemic responses, this paper also says every individual when worked on differently produces a different glucose levels even after consuming the same food. What is the response to? Why is there a deviation? After this 2005, 2012 white paper coined a beautiful term called as exposome. Exposome talks about everything which an individual is getting exposed in your life is not genetic. Genetic you can't change. But this exposome, you're linking the environmental factors to disease risk and their possession. And hence it helps us to determine the phenotype. And one of the very important exposome is nutrition, the diet, because that's the area where you're highly exposed to. So with this personalized nutrition approach with so many tools coming up, what one should conclude, and can we use this genotype as a tool? In 2016, there was a deliberation with 40 academicians in Switzerland, the dietitians, academicians, molecular biologists, geneticists, to understand what kind of a policy should be applied when we are promoting nutrigenomics or personalized health as per genomics counseling to your patients or clients. There's a lot of information in the media. This overabundance information should be actually with evidence-based and sound nutrition. I'm sure all the clinicians at PNB as an IDEC faculty are working towards it. Anybody can become a nutritionist. A commerce background, how can you get into nutrition? Because nutrition demands molecular biology, nutrition biochemistry, food science, such a big background. Then only you can promote these kind of concepts very actively to your clients or patients, because it needs a very sound science background. Because the media, people tell you a gym trainer can become a nutritionist. So we want all this strategy here to work towards a sound base, because when you are looking at nutrigenomics as a tool or molecular biology as a tool, you need a dietitian or nutrition with a strong biochemistry or a science background, because we don't want to conflict the interest or promote any non-evidence-based science. Do you all agree with me? Yes? That's important. So by enabling this better understanding of nutrition needs to both individuals and population levels, we want, or the paper said, or the forum said, that the nutrition should empower the people across the world to optimize them, but it should be a systemic approach. So this is how they said. One interesting study of Food for Me by European Commission, which was deliberated in 2015, is very interesting. What they did is they tried to understand, does this personalized diet plans work? So they took 1,500 participants. In that they made 4 groups. One control group had not personalized dietary advice. Then there were 3 intervention groups. One intervention worked only on the current diet change, which is personalized. Second intervention worked on current diet change plus a phenotype, that is the observed level, dyslipidemia, diabetes, etc. And the third intervention level worked on genotype, phenotype, and diet change. And what was the change, or what was the conclusion of this study is? Whatever may be the application of the practice, personalized diet works. They do it through email, telephonic, it was not done in person. So the systems or the tools or the software applications all worked together to provide a personalized diet plan. Either it was with only diet change, just changing the food habits, or it was with genotype or phenotype. All this worked. They did better in health when compared to a generalized. So this is where we stand. Either this way or that way is going to work. But how can this nutrigenomics, if anybody is interested, can work? So now we're looking at genomics, because I look food now as an information. Food is an information which is giving me micronutrients at a cellular level, which can change my dynamics of my cellular health. If it can change the environment of my cellular health, why can't we look food as an information? And this is the next era, I think, what we are ushering the world of nutrition into. Because if you look at food we eat, you have 3 ways of looking at it. One is the direct impact of food on the genes, and that's called as nutrigenetics. The second is, as we've already discussed, as metabolites, which also combine with your diet. The third way is your gut flora. This gut flora also combines with the food we eat. So we are now looking at a combination of metagenome, hyperbiome, and diet, and then the application of personalized nutrition. This is actually being practiced now. We are still lacking information in gut flora, but we only know the genome. So then it was thought that does food omics for personalized nutrition? Are we actually going in an era of omics technology? How does it work? We still have a lot to work on gut flora. Where they say the exposome, the diet and gut flora are the major components. They interact with each other, they make up the complex interplay, and then it results in a metabolite phenotype. So now we're looking at foodomics approach. If this food is in information, nutrigenetics, nutrimetabolics, nutritranscriptomics, nutriproteomics, and metabologenomics. This is a new era where if I understand my gut flora and use food as information, will I be able to work? This is plus and minus, both the sides of the coin. I told you, with or without genotype, phenotype, a personalized nutrition works. With genotype, how does it work? It also tells. I am practicing. I would like to share my one experience with you, that how am I approaching towards this nutrigenomics in just last 2 to 3 minutes which I have left for you. This is now called as designer theory. Because you know your genotype, it's very cosmetic, otherwise you have a gene for everything. You have gene for hair, you gene for alcohol, you gene for caffeine. So that everything the genes have been identified. So we call it as personalized designer therapies. Is it needed? Maybe no, maybe yes. It all depends on how you look at it. Currently, there are a lot of bright companies, genetic companies offering this personalized nutrition beyond primary care. And how does it help you? Suppose you get it done. How does it help you? Let me give you 2 examples of a phage. A cytochrome P450, all of us have learned about it, is a very important the enzyme in your detoxification. You will know whether, because few studies say alcohol is good for heart, alcohol is bad for heart. Few studies say caffeine is good for heart, caffeine is bad for heart. It actually depends upon your cytochrome P450 genotype, which tells you whether it is slow metabolism of caffeine or fast. Then we recommend 1 to 2 cups of coffee, more than 2 cups of coffee, percolated coffee. So this is how the designer way of looking at what kind of your body looks and your weight looks. Another important glutathione synthetase T, beyond the work of glutathione synthetase T, is retention of vitamin C in your blood. And if I have a variant GST, then definitely I need to put a lot of vitamin C in my diet or a bioavailable vitamin C. And this is how my report looks when I am practicing. I have these 3 important lifestyle genetics genotypes, which is PPARG, 1 minute, PPARG, FTO, and TCF. Every gene has its own function, because I know this PPARG works on adipogenesis. So I know if you are very into adipogenesis, PPARG, you need a vegetarian diet. And you all must be knowing that this gluten-free, milk-free diet works. And my experience is 99% of Indian population, however reports I have seen, are all mutated PPARG. So is that the reason the vegetarian diet works in the Indian population? Because you have seen reversal of diabetes with this PPARG. It's a question. We have not linked that kind of a hypothesis with genotype still. And can we do it? Is another question. Another gene is TCLF2, where we know that it helps in synthesis of GLP-1, and we know the function of GLP. I can modify my diet if I have variant TCLF, that glycemic load, chromium in the diet, or fiber. So this is how my aspects change. We are too naive, too young in this science. Though I've been practicing for 3 years, there are a lot of people taking up this nutrigenomics because we've been advised, but there's a lot of commercialization. We need to have policies in place, we need to have ethics in place. We still don't have that. It's not of personalized nutrition, so we cannot make it into a big market because genetics needs ethics, counseling needs a sound certified counselor can help. So that is why I personally feel if I combine all my omics, I can give very good personalized recommendations, but I need to be a sound counselor for the same. I have to work this towards looking at public health transformation, and that is why I think the dietitians, the healthcare profession, should give a newer perspective to a new tool of this, which is actually just for us nutrigenomics. So thank you very much for the patient hearing. I think I've sensitized the audience enough to understand the newer concept of cellular nutrition, molecular biological nutrition, or let's say personalized nutrition. Thank you once again for the patient hearing.